Hi guys, I'm Sharon Forrester. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to read to you my special dream journal. And I bet that you can guess what's on me right now. I'm Gur, see? Hi! Yeah. I'm going to be reading to you all the dreams that I had ever since I was little, in detail and in the voice that I am using in here. Okay? So on this first page, after getting this book and then forming it all into this beautiful masterpiece that you see right here, because I stringed it all together because I really didn't want to lose this book. It meant everything to me when I bought it at Hot Topic. So, first page you'll see here, my special dream journal. Isn't it pretty? And then we're going to go to the first page and continue from there. My first ever dream, Zim. Escape the aliens. I was 7 years old when I had this dream. Zim and I were on the house. We were laughing and just sitting there with Gur. Then everything turns all dull. Everything turns a little dark. A spaceship appears very close to us and has captured us. But Zim, Gur, and I didn't know who they were. Then we saw them when we woke up from the dream we were having ourselves. Everything in the ship was a very black and dark blue blended in a form, and fixed/sparkling in another. Then Zim had been moved to a machine. Me and Gur were trying to find a place out of here. We found Zim after we ran over the place, inside a container pod. We let him out. Then something exploded from the door. I hanged from Zim on his body, hugging him. We escaped when the green and blue aliens threw fire at us. We told them to leave us, and we dealt with them. Then we all got safe home to Zim's base. I said, "Zim, thanks. I wish that this could continue." And I kissed him on the mouth, smiled. My second dream ever of Zim. Confusion, school, lost, stupidity, and a weirdness. I was either 12, 13, or 14 years old when I had this dream. My daddy was driving me to school with William, Zim, Gur, and Dib. We were confused with a lane to park on a line. A few minutes fast, doing circles on the lines. He drops us off and said goodbye, but then we started walking in the school everywhere. We went to eat something. Gur wanted me to carry him and go inside the classroom and locker. Then went to eat lunch. Sonia put something on the food that in 1 hour we all die. We stopped her, but everything got weird and confused. My dad didn't pick us up until later. Then I sat with Zim, Gur, which I was carrying, Dib, and William. They tried to get home walking, but everything in the parking lines were confusing. But we sat on the floor, waiting for Daddy to show up. I looked at Gur because he was looking at me. Then Daddy got here and picked us up. We were scared, but then fine. We got in the red truck. Gur was on the left side of the truck, and I kissed his head for being nice. I didn't notice we were on our way, and I nudged Gur lying on him. That is dream number 2. My third ever dream of Zim. I was 12 or 13 years old when I had this dream. Racing side the mountain rocks. It started all brown and cream color. Zim and I were starting a race to the other side of the mountain. We started the engines. A guy, imaginary, he started the race and made it to the other side. Zim was on the lead when we started. Was playing around in the car and rode in duty mode. Got to second place. I had trouble with the car. The speed racing car. My car broke down when I was looking forward and crashed with a rock. Then I jumped in Gur's car, was next to Zim's. Then got in to ride. Gur was sitting next to me. Then I got with Zim, sitting on his lap. We crashed onto the rock. Then we both got out of Gur's car, sitting next to each other. I was on Zim's lap. Then the car kept collapsing under its weight and scratched with the floor. Then the race was over and no one won. Well, we found out Gur did, and I hugged and kissed him. Then stayed hugging Zim. Isn't that nice? The fourth ever dream of Zim. I was 13 years old when I had this dream. Zim, don't forget me on the invasion. I was with Zim walking. I believed in him, that he can conquer Earth. I said, don't ever forget me and remember who I am and everything we've been together. Promise me that one thing. Promise. We finger swore. Something made us explode to different directions. Then I screamed, Zim! Don't forget me! After 1 year, I went walking with Gur, trying to find him, and when I finally did, when we were trapped by other Urkins, we escaped saying, take me to Zim. Then I went to a building, trying to help me go to Zim. There he was. What did I write here? Evil laughing about evil and having human slaves. I had to get over there, and Zim saw me and he said, what are you doing? Zim, I said quickly. Please, it's me, Sharon. You made a promise to remember me when you conquered Earth. You're my friend. Zim looks at her sadly. I smiled sadly to Zim and kissed him on the cheek, looked, and just smiled happily at him. Oh, that's cute. My sixth dream ever of Zim. I was 13 years old when I had this dream. Contest. Weird water. Media lost. There was a contest on something. Zim was laughing. Then Myrtle got in the way and decided that she won first place. A poster popped out of nowhere. Then Zim rocked it of the water. Then somehow Zim was wearing this shark wheel for the water. Myrtle pushed him in. Zim laughed all the way to the deep water. I screamed, no, Zim! Myrtle got in a little flatboat with the other. He kept going. I went in the water to save him. I saw we got in one of the flatboats. But then I got there. He wasn't there. He back to shore. I tried to go back to the shore when they knocked me off. I got to a big sidewalk and saw a very... Never? Always knowing friend. I said, hi. He said, ew, no, and left. I went to Zim, back to that cement shoved and hugged him. I thought you were hurt. I looked and smiled happily. These games are so funny. Oh, this one's a little longer one too. Oh, wow. Okay, this one's like all the way to the back. Okay. My 7th ever dream of Zim. I was 14 years old when I had this dream. Zim took over the world, but spared me. In a daytime on a place, Zim actually took over Earth. There were Urkins everywhere, and also human slaves. Some of the humans were loose. I was one of them. I was walking to see everything, find Zim. He was standing next to a machine box under a place that had a big, hard picture of himself. And when you look the opposite direction, you see that one of Gur. So I went up to Zim and said, hey. Smiled happily. Said, wow, I can't believe you actually conquered Earth. I think that's amazing. Zim said, thank you. Sharon, you're spared, so don't ask. Sharon said, yay! In a shrieking tone. Then I was next to Zim. These 3 other girls appeared, and one of them appeared that loved Zim and hugged and held his hand and walked with him and the other girls. I got so angry and upset, I ran to them and jumped on that girl and said, Zim is mine! Go find your own man! Oh, there it goes. Then the girl left. I started to cry a little and thought that Zim liked her more than me. Zim went up to me and said, thanks. I don't want to go with those girls. To want to go with you. I cried tears of joy, smiled and hugged and kissed him. Then Zim and I walked holding hands. We went back to where we were. Then someone I knew walked Zim and started talking about human slaves. I wanted to sit on a bench because I got tired of walking and standing. I asked, Zim, can I? Pointing at the bench. Zim looks at me and says, of course, you're spared. Zim smiled happily, and so did I. And sat down. In a few seconds, he was done talking to me, to the Urkins. Then Zim to the bench I was sitting on. He sat next to me really closely and he said, hey, want to walk around and see all the human slaves with me? I put my hand on Zim's lap. I lied my body sideways and looked him and said, yes. We walked holding hands to get out of the place. But you needed a ticket. Zim gave his to the human. But I didn't have one. Zim walked, but I couldn't go, so I watched him, crying, and he turned his back and smiled at me crying. Well, that took a turn. But isn't that crazy? My 9th ever dream of Zim. Being in Zim's lap. 14 years old is when I had this dream. Ooh. See, I was really obsessed with like wanting to be on the lap and touching the outside of regular body parts, okay? Get your mind out of the gutters. I was with Zim and Gur and lying in the truck. And we were all happy. We were taking a ride to places. In the car, I was looking at Zim and Zim at me. I was sideways on his lap and, let's see, turned my head on his body, and he would lie his head on top of my head, and I was very comfortable in the ride I had with Zim. All right. That's what I wrote. Oh. Ooh. My 8th ever dream of Zim. I don't know. The other one was the 9th, okay? This is the 8th one. I kind of wrote it backwards, just like the first and just like the second and third. Standing with Dib. See, it's just standing and feeling the outside of the body. I was in the kitchen and I was having fun hanging out with them and Dib. I was in front of Dib and Dib would feel me. And he held me and I would hold hands. But Mommy would not let me be with him. She was thinking differently. I wanted to feel him, so I didn't listen and I felt him. And he felt me. It was fun. I was with Dib having fun and with Zim. When I was on his lap and he was feeling me and I was feeling him. It was fun being with Dib and Zim. Yay! Oh my gosh. And it's just, we were just standing against each other. You know how you just like put your arms around like the person you love? Oh my gosh, it was such a big deal. It's like, oh, I could feel like his jacket and his pants on me. My 10th dream of Zim. Flying with Zim. I was 14 years old when I had this dream. Let's see. I was on the Voot runner of Zim. I have no idea what Voot means. I don't know what I wrote there. We were flying up, seeing all the trees and bushes. And a Will Street next to us. Okay. Oh, Hill. Not Will. I got dropped from the ship. And I tried calling him, but he didn't listen. I kept walking up. And I saw Dib. I was with him sitting down. We were sitting down together. Someone was stealing me and Zim. Noticed when he saw something, he came back to get me. I hung on the boot. What did I write here? Runner. And then he dropped to fight Dib. His clothes disappeared. I was with Zim holding him. And then I flew the ship, trying to get all out of there. Then I stayed a while together. Then we left. I was flying the ship on Zim sideways. And then I looked at him and we both smiled at each other. Oh my gosh. Dream 11. The best ever dream 11. I was 14 years old when I had this dream. Again. Me, Penelope, kissing with Zim. Aw, she's an internet friend I had. I connect with her sometimes. It's rare, but I'm glad that she's doing well out there. It starts in a hotel room where it is all white. Zim was sad on the bed. I wanted to cheer him up. And I made out with him. Penelope came, my BFF. She was with me. And she also made out with Zim. It was incredible. We had fun. Then we went to a Disney park that was behind the hotel and mountains. The ride needed fixing. But then at the same time, me, Penelope, and Zim kept kissing and lots of fun all together as BFFs. So we shared Zim in a Disney ride by both making out with him, taking turns. Got it. Wow. I was writing insane stuff in here. This is like really insane. Oh my gosh. So crazy. How did I even have weird dreams like this? The 12th best ever dream of Zim. I was 14 years old when I had this dream. Once again. Battle Planet Urk. I was sitting in a purple-black ship next to the Urkins with William. William's my brother, by the way. I know I mentioned him before. And Urkin said, "Where's the princess?" Almighty Talus assumed. "The princess has destroyed the town." Then he took out a gun, destroyed his own planet, rocks on space. Okay. He was with the other Urkins, sitting on a big one. Next to me on the window, I went to him and kissed him on the mouth a few times and had fun. We were seeing all of space and the purple rocks destroyed. William got mad and left. I went with him, then back to the Urkins, and stayed with the Almighty Tallest Purple and Red in space and planet Urk. Alright. Oh my gosh. Alright, this 13th one is a slightly bigger one as well. Alright, but here we go. 13th. Dream. I was 14 years old. Once again, I got kidnapped by Zim. It started at a beach or ocean thing with a wooden metal bridge and white birds and a lot of buildings and houses. I looked like Lilo. I was just standing there until a Voot cruiser. Oh, that's what it was in that other dream. It was a Voot cruiser. It showed up, but different. It was red. It looked like Lilo's little car ship in red. It was Zim. He looked very evil, but he didn't talk. He put inside the ship and showed a sign to stay there. Okay. And he left to destroy some humans. And then I looked at the ship and stared at it. Then I got on and stayed. He came to the bridge when I saw him. Before he noticed, I fly the Voot cruiser and load it. I got confused with the buttons, but still liked it. It was awesome. Then came back, he saw that I left and got angry. He told me to sit next to him on the chair. Then he went to pilot and drove. Then I looked at him. I put the seatbelt on and his because we forgot. I asked him to fly and he said no. "Please," I said, and then he let me. I sat on his lap and flied the ship. Told him to loop. Okay, loop the loop. Okay, I told him loop the loop, and I did it, and we had fun. We went high and low. We almost crashed and also went to high, but we kept flying, and I had so much fun with, and the past times. Okay, we smiled at each other. Alright, that works.